Yo, what is going on, people? Sorry, I know that this is a bit of a last minute stream as I wasn't actually planning on streaming today, but I missed you guys so freaking much, and I had a little bit of time that popped up, so I figured I would jump in, say hello for a bit. I don't know how much time I have, but it's not going to be one of those long streams. And sorry, I do not have tournaments set up just because this is something that came up a little bit more last minute, but just wanted to come and check in with you guys because we had, we had the Splinterlands Town Hall on, was it Thursday night? And so I think I did a reaction stream after that. I was able to post the 5 biggest takeaways sometime Friday, but then we got to see all the cool stuff from the Arcade Colony / GLS Town Hall. And there's also like a new Mooncarts white paper that I was just going through this morning. So there's a lot to dive into. We'll call it in the Hive sphere since it's not really Splinter. I will call it in the Splinterland sphere, in the Splinterverse. I guess all this stuff is still somewhat related. But I thought I'd just check in with you guys because again, I might be able to do a live stream tomorrow, but not in the morning. So let's see how everybody is. Let's see how the market is. Got my cup of coffee here. So let's just do a quick round out and then I'll jump into the chat and see how folks are doing. Okay, so let's start with Bitcoin. And sorry, let me just put this notification thing on so I can see where we're good. Okay. So Bitcoin struggling to stay above 43. We keep bouncing back and forth. ETH same at about the 2,300 range. Solana's cooled off. Matic's cooled off. Even Gala back down to 2.1 cents. DEC holding peg, or close to peg, rather nicely, I should say, despite there not being any kind of major things going on or major catalyst for DEC. Vouchers continuing to fall, not unexpected, and it was kind of rough to hear Matt say in the last town hall that we have a lot of things planned for vouchers, but it's like months down the road. Well, he didn't even say months. He just said it's a long time away. So he wants to include vouchers in the burn event. And then SPS, probably just tracking the rest of the market here, 2.3 cents or so. We're continuing to move up in supply of SPS. No surprise there. Same thing with vouchers. We're back at 11.5. See how fast that was? We were at 12.1 million vouchers. Conflicts comes in. Boom. We knock out 1 million. Just like that. And then, I don't know, 2 weeks later, we're back at 11.5. So we print, keep in mind, we print 1.2 million per month. So I guess it's not even a full 2 weeks at that point to, put another 400,000 on. And we'll be back above 12 probably by the middle of February, right? Yeah, that'll be about a month after conflicts. So makes a ton of sense. Now we are seeing good sales or decent sales. What is it? 664 plus 88. I got to do my math here. I know we're over 750, so I'm going to make a video on that at some point. 88 is 752, just barely over 752,000. So we have hit the halfway mark for what Matt was hoping to sell, but keep in mind that a good amount of these were given out as bonuses. In fact, we can probably check because there'll be a better number here to track. And then we'll finish rounding things out. All right, so is there a leaderboard still? No, I guess not. All right, so what I'm looking for is a leaderboard which showed how many were purchased versus how many were given out as bonuses, but I don't think I'm seeing that anywhere specifically. So, okay, cool. Well, let's hop back into here. All right, so still a great arbitrage, although I think this is getting dominated by, if you saw my video on Friday, those 2 gold foil cards that were, somebody was selling for like $200,000. I think that's pulling up the average. And I know Seahawks went in and fixed it, but he kind of put like a 500 cap. So I don't think there's any Rebellion legendary cards, gold foil legendary cards selling for $500 right now. I mean, Manzaroth is the first reasonable one. That's at 343. So, until we get either these two folks to update their pricing, or we get someone who actually wants to move one of these and puts it on the marketplace to sell. I actually think that this is a very misleading number now, estimated value, because it's always going to be inflated. You just know that it's always going to be inflated. By how much? We don't really know. That's the problem. I mean, yeah, it sucks because obviously, I mean, it's still a decent arbitrage, and I would venture to say that it's probably still over $4, just because before this kind of little, price trick that they're doing, it was over $4. So I don't doubt that is still the same. But wow, look at this. GLX have almost caught up to GLGT. Actually, I think we passed it for a minute. But my expectations over the next, we'll call it 3 weeks until the GLX snapshot, is that GLGT will continue to fall. Part will continue to fall as people buy up GLX or GLUSD. We may even see some sell-off in certain Splinterlands assets. Vouchers, vouchers always get sold, but they're the easiest thing to sell for something like a GLX if you wanted to. And that's that. Ooh, crop. Good to see crop over 0.2 cents. Very cool. All right, let's jump in the chat, shall we? See who is here and how we're doing. All right, so DJ says, hey, After Sound, what's going on? Good to see you, DJ. Alex Bernard, always trying to shill those vouchers, man. Buy vouchers, sell your cards. That's not a great idea unless you have extra cards and you really love vouchers. But I can't play with vouchers. New Age is here. What's up, New Age? Happy Sunday to you. All right, so DJ says, why is it not 30-day average of actual sales? List price is silly to use. DJ, I don't disagree. And if anything, if we were only going to use one price rather than a 30-day average, which I think would be good too, it should be last sold price, because that was the last known confirmed price that somebody was willing to pay for that card. So and again, I mean, this is a third-party website, not by the team, right? It's by T-Hawks, who's done a fantastic job. I mean, I'm on here all the time, so it's just a matter of like updating it and finding a logic that makes the most sense. But it is what it is. This is a labor of love. They do it for free. Although I will encourage you guys, if you go to the bottom of here, you can donate HBD or Hive by clicking one of the buttons to the project. So it's a tool that I use regularly, and I'm grateful for it. All right, KGM, what's up? Price prediction for Rage card in the market. My strategy is just to buy if possible. I don't know. Well, you know me, I don't like doing price predictions, but my understanding, and actually let's go over here. This would be good exercise. Hold on, let me just respond to someone real quick. Okay. So let's look at legendary cards, regular foil for this. So check it out. We're going to print at least 4,000 BCX. None of the legendary cards here have hit 4,000 BCX. So if we're going to print at least 4,000, then it's going to be more common, not the rarity, but just like common in terms of like, it's like more printed versus everything else. And if we have to hit those guaranteed minimums, I thought, I remember the Monster Maverick show. So Neil and Vet talking about this, saying that they wouldn't be surprised if it was over like 5,000 or 6,000 that ended up getting printed. Although their numbers were kind of wonky that whole show. So no shade. They were just calculating a bunch of different things, and I know there were several things that they had to double back to. So I don't know if that was one, but at the very least, we know there's going to be 4,000 copies plus guarantees. So assuming things work out in the most favorable way, and we only get 4,000 copies, it's still going to be more than everything that we have here, which you can just, we can call that a wash and just say, okay, well, you know what? It's as common, right? And again, not talking about the rarity. It's as common as like all of these cards. Let's take out promo. It's as common as all these cards. So the range would be what, $6.40 to $18.20. Now, I would say, oh my, it's crazy to see a cane down at $16. That's almost juicy. All right. So I would say, it's got something similar to Darg Dead Blast with the weapons trainer ability. So I would put it in the top. If we break this down into like thirds, right? So you got $6. I don't know. We'll call it like $6 to $9. 9 to 12. I guess that's fourths. I put it in the top half, right? I put it anywhere between like $12 to $18. Probably even if I had to be specific, I wouldn't be surprised if it was up here with these guys in the 15 to 18 range. That's going to be my best guess. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm just saying that's my best guess, and I did my proof of work right in front of you. So that's where it is. 15 to 18 bucks. I will say this. What we've seen happen is on the day of release, there tends to be a massive sell-off because a bunch of people have extras. So you could see a price that is significantly lower than that 15 to 18 range because somebody's just trying to offload. But you could also see a price that's significantly higher, and I'll tell you why. It's because a lot of people like to play whale games, scoop up everything under whatever they perceive the value to be, and then start selling it at a higher price. So it could go either way. But once things normalize out and settle, I would say that it would probably be at the top tier echelon. I don't know if it would be as good as these cards, right? Because a cane is a summoner, first of all, right? And Dark Dead Blast, even though it is not dragon or neutral, it is 7 mana, and we've seen this card have a ton of utility early on. A 16 mana dragon card, there's just not going to be as many opportunities to use it, so the utility wouldn't be quite there. I don't know, it's just my thought. Maybe I'll be wrong. But I think Dark Dead Blast and a cane will still be the leaders of the pack, literally and figuratively. And you'll probably see Rage somewhere right here. Although this is a steep drop off. Look at this. So you only have one more in double digits. That's Nalara Gainic. And then after that, look at all these legendary cards going for $10 a pop. Man, if we had to compare to the core Chaos Legion legendaries, and let's just get rid of summoners. We're only looking at units here. Well, actually, these things have sold off like crazy, right? So Queen Mycelia, Bakjira going for like $3. That's just sad. But even with this, check it out, right? The highest Chaos Legion legendary unit versus the lowest Rebellion unit, that's still a 2x. And the print rate is significantly more impactful than that. So what that tells me is there probably is a lot more room for this to go down, because it doesn't seem like print rate's really affecting it. Only buy vouchers and sell everything else. All right, dude. I mean, look, I wish you the best. We all felt, who was it? We were like tracking what had happened, because you were like buying vouchers and then you sold them right before they pumped, didn't you? I thought you sold a bunch right before they pumped for something else. But I hope your strategy ends up working out for you. Bitcoin Sig, what's going on? Birds, bees, and trees. A good day to you. How's everybody feeling today? We doing all right? Let's see if I have any energy to play some more battles with. I have just been on an absolute gladiator spam. So if you play me, I'm just letting you know right now. I mean, you'll see that I play gladiators like a majority of the time. And I'm able to, I'm in gold 2 right now. Oh, that's interesting. We're actually a couple days into the season, and I have not been able to make it into gold 1. So maybe those rebellion cards are coming to the mix. Or maybe I should just stop spamming gladiators. But they're just so fun. I can't help myself. Also, let's see. Oh, unable to cancel match. I was going to check what my win rate has been this season so far. Bro, I don't even know. What are we trying to do here? So, you know, if I get magic spammed, then that's a problem. Because one of the ones that I really like to do is this dude right here with the self-heal. And then throw in... Again, we're going to do this just for fun. Just because I'm enjoying spamming gladiators. But, oh, interesting. Okay. Let's hope. Oh. Damn, you know, I think I can only heal 2 per turn. But if I understand correctly, they can't do more than that either, right? So we're not going to be able to get past each other here. I think they win. Yeah. Oh, well, good try. I probably would have done something similar to this. Actually, you know what I would have done? And then would have ultimately lost is thrown a martyr in front of Pellicor Mercenary. If I'd been playing for real. But see, we're just barely over 50%. Although I'll say that, you know, I'm usually just a 50% player. No, sorry. I'm usually just above 50%. So this is about average for me all the way through. There's some good days, some bad days. But check this out. Look at how many people are playing in gold. There's nobody here. I'm in mid gold, 23-29 rating. And I'm number 85. That's crazy to me. But it makes sense in the context of this pool. There's nobody playing in gold. Everybody's here rushing into diamond and champion, and that's why the rewards in gold are better than diamond. Which is something that, you know, I'm sure Matt doesn't particularly care for, and that's what he wants to fix. But what's funny is that, like, I'm not even able to get out of gold now if I want to. I mean, maybe if I really, really tried, especially towards the end of the season. But with a 50-50 win rate, I'm just chilling in gold 1 or gold 2, sorry. Okay. Let's see. Wibble wee, what's going on? Hey, what happened to my screen? Yo, okay. Herps, what's happening? Birds, bees, and trees, good and you. Mrs. Town Hall, only saw the first 10 to 15 on replay so far. I'm trying to think. Let's see if I have my 5 biggest takeaways. There wasn't much. I mean, there's a new rule set coming in next week. They got some changes to the site, but overall, you know, it's not I don't want to say it's not a big release because I know, you know, investigators working hard to get a bunch of stuff in, but there's no major new feature coming out. You know, land is still, we don't know. The new ranked play system is still, you know, Matt was giving some new ideas for it, which is fantastic. But you know what I think we need to do? And this is probably just me trying to reset my expectations accordingly. I think we shouldn't expect any major releases until like April. It doesn't sound like land and anything for land is ready to go 1.6, which is disappointing right? But we haven't been hearing from Farbertrot. I don't know what's going on that side of the things. And in fact, if anything, Nate during the town hall said, "Oh, we're about to get started on that." And I think that he was talking about like the UI stuff for Land. So I think the back end coding might be done, right? If Farbertrot hasn't been talking about it. But Nate literally said like we're going to get started on something Land related, 1.6 related. So, my guess now, and it was probably just wishful thinking that we were going to get a new feature for Land, every month throughout the first half of the year. But my guess is we don't. Okay, here's my guess. Here's my official predictions. I think we get the new ranked system somewhere around the halving, right? So probably like mid-April, we'll just call it. The halving's at the end of April, but I'm hoping that we can get the new ranked play system, and that includes like all the other new player experience things that they want to do, right? Because there's only 4 releases. Because we have this. Okay, let me pull up the calendar. We have this release on the 6th. Then there's the 20th of February, the 5th of March, the 19th of March, and then the 2nd of April. Right? So actually, within Q1, there's only 3 more release dates. And I know they came back and took the criticism of like, oh, you guys didn't talk about Land. But they also didn't say anything about Land. So I really think Land 1.6 is probably going to get pushed the second half of the year. I know I just said that out loud, didn't I? But I've been teasing this for a while. This is my line. This is not official. This is just my line of thinking. Okay. I asked you guys on a live stream a week or 2 ago, and I said, would you be okay with Land getting delayed if it meant a focus on getting the new player system and the rank system and all that out? And I was just trying to see how the community was going to react and see what people would prefer. And there are people on both sides of it, and I get that. But I'm starting to lean that way even more heavily now, where I'm thinking Land 1.6 is probably on the back burner because let's be honest. Land 1.5, as great as it was, and I know there's a ton of work that went in, using Matt's words, it's boring. There's just not much to it, right? You just point, click, you harvest, whatever. 1.6 is not going to do anything for the game either. It's not going to do anything for the game in terms of preparing Splinterlands and the economy and all that for the masses. So the team has to reprioritize here, which once again just goes towards my argument that Land 2.0 is not going to see, we're not going to see Land 2.0 this year. Again, I think we'll see elements of Land 2.0, but not 2.0 in all of its glory. So now my official thinking is that 1.6 gets pushed to the second half of the year, only because I'm expecting the ranked rework and all of the player experience stuff to take precedence, which again, it sucks as a current player. But if you can step back, you'll understand that they have to do this stuff because, they're, as Tails would say, shout out to Tails, they've already missed the boat, right? So they've already missed the boat on this, and so it's I forgot how he phrased it, but it's just like, we had a 2-year lead on everybody, and now we're playing catch up. So something happened where we had a 2-year lead on every other project in the space, but now yet we're still playing catch up. So, my guess is because a lot of this stuff is not finalized for the ranked play rework. We see that hopefully sometime April, maybe May, I don't know. And then the team's like, all right, now it's time to work on Land again. Now that we got all these players coming in and everything's set up. If you use Solana at all, claim your Jupiter airdrop. I made a lot selling my airdrop tokens. Thank you for the PSA. I did not use Jupiter. I don't know if that was a requirement. Yo, what's going on, Liberty Guy? Good to see you here. Happy Sunday. Essence of Anarchany. I'm looking forward to the new system. I'm getting tired of running into level 3 Izzyars in gold. Yeah, I wish I had one too. It sucks. That resurrect martyr again is fantastic. All right, so Birds Being Serious, I think you're right about rewards better in gold versus diamond. I mean, I know what you mean. I mean, the numbers don't lie. The reward pool and the rewards per win are definitely better in gold. Now, the reward chests in diamond are significantly better because there's less bots in diamond wild than in gold wild. Buy high, sell low. Fantastic advice from Alex. New Age says setting expectations low. Good approach this year. Yeah. Well, got to do it. All right. So Bitcoin Sig, I think 2-week town hall slows down development. You know what's funny is I feel like many people would argue the opposite. Wouldn't it be that they have more time to work on things? I agree. I missed the weekly town halls, and I know a lot of it ended up just becoming Aggie coming on and, hyping everybody up for stuff that never made it. But I kind of missed the weekly touch point. It was always something to look forward to. So I guess we have 1 week on, and then the release the following week, right? So it's like Thursday town hall, Tuesday release, the following Thursday town hall. But then you're going to get weeks like this upcoming one where, let's see, what were the releases? A new rule set, pre-proposals going to the site, multi-card actions, shop page. Okay, so I mean, it's all good quality of life stuff. But I don't think it's going to get everybody calling their mom. All right, so KGM says, yes, we'll give time to max my land strat. And thanks for the rage prediction. Yeah, no problem. Hopefully that was, I don't know. We'll see if I'm right. 2025, 1.6. No, now you're just being bearish, Alex. I think I think they had to sit down and honestly ask themselves, how are we going to compete with all these other games? How are we going to ride the wave of crypto and gaming in 2024 and 2025? And the tough answer to that question, which we all know is true, is that land ain't it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Land has just become, man, if you think about it, and I know this is gonna be super. All right, here's my super hot take. Here's my super hot take. Land was very close to killing this game and still has the potential to do so. And the reason I say that is because it has morphed into something way more, way larger than Matt had ever wanted or predicted or anything. And he's even said that, right? I mean, he said that multiple times. Land was going to be something simple in the beginning, and now it's become this sprawling ecosystem resource management game, which is fantastic, right? Fantastic if you have the resources to do it. And the team, even before 2 rounds of layoffs, didn't have the resources to do it in a timely manner. So what I think is tough, and again, it's about all right, let me rephrase that. What I think is tough is the fact that they have to deliver this thing, right? Aggie even referred to it as a baby. It just needed to come out. Even though last year, I mean, as a player, I wanted to see innovations to game modes. I wanted to see more, innovations to tournaments, additions to brawls. I wanted stuff within the core game that we already had, right? Land sounded cool, but it wasn't what got me super excited. I mean, if anything, the only thing was oh yeah, if Land comes in, then all of a sudden, flywheel and boom, we're all rich, which didn't happen. So, I would say that Land has taken away so much time, energy, resources from building out the core game. And I know people are and I know that this is true because people will point at Arcade Colony and GLS or GLG, whatever, and say the same thing, right? Oh man, all these resources the team had that they could have put towards whatever. And you're right, but Land is the same thing, right? Land, the scope of Land seems to have gotten larger and larger every single year. And again, ultimately, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, right? Because we do want a cool Land resource management game. I'm obviously excited for it. But the problem is when you have limited resources, when you have limited resources, it comes down to prioritizing, like where are your people? Where's your customer base? What is it that they want? And how can you best serve them? So again, I want land, but I don't think anybody here can make the argument to me that land 1.6 specifically, or even land 2.0 would bring in new players, right? I don't think land has ever been like, this is bringing new players in. The thing that brings new players in is the auto battler, right? That's why I stayed. That's literally what I play every day because I love it. Now maybe if I was a land baron, I'd feel differently, but still, it's not as fun as the actual game. I don't know how else to say it. So yeah, I mean, they're doing the tough part. This is not like an easy decision, in my opinion, right? Because you made so many. The other part of the problem is you've made so many promises about land, right? And so it's not an easy decision to come in and say like, yeah, I mean, we really want to build this out, right? We really want to have this thing, but that's just not what's best for the company right now. It's not what's best for preparing for the bull run right now. I don't know. That'd be my guess. And so, like I said, I can rationalize them making the decision. I'm not saying that they did. I'm just saying I can rationalize them making the decision to put land on the shelf in favor of something else for the time being. All right, what do you want, Kat? Let's see, how are we doing on time? All right, I think we're okay. Yeah, what's up, International Travel Channel? Alex is waiting for Waka to drop to 49. I bought a Max Conqueror Yasik yesterday. Congratulations. Now done. What's up? All right, so birds, bees, and trees. How many times did Nate say so far that Investigator doesn't have soul keep out yet? I didn't know that was Investie's baby. How could he possibly work on that game and do everything for the game? I don't think he's working on it. I think Nate just said that he's trying to stay on top of like just giving people what they're owed. So that's why the titles and was it airdrop titles? Oh, avatars. You're gonna get like an in-game avatar. So New Age, I'm enjoying the land game more than ranked at the moment. Oh, come on, New Age. Come on, dude, for real? There's no way. There's no way. I mean, look, I'm saying this as somebody who had the best RNG possible with land. I got to keep, and it's cool. I go in once a week and I hit harvest. Granted, okay, so I'm saying this understanding that, I have a little bit of ignorance when it comes to land because I'm not in the same position as many folks who are trying to navigate the land thing, right? And actually, I'll agree with you in the sense that, someone like Virus probably had a ton of fun putting together his spreadsheets. I mean, watching that first stream we did, prepping for land all the way back in August, I watched that and I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is intense. But I'm sure he enjoyed navigating through all of that. But to me, that's not, I don't know. It's not a game. I enjoy the game. I like the adrenaline. I like the time limit. I like just, am I going to hit it? RNG, yes or no? Bitcoin 6 regarding Town Hall. I feel like they don't push as hard to get new stuff out weekly, and they hold off development to the next Town Hall announcement cycle. Fair enough. That's probably exactly what they were hoping with that. Brandon's here. Yo, you are correct regarding land. The capital economics just don't work. Sign up for infinite production and support with very tiny revenue potential, as is anyway. Yeah, I mean, is it a surprise that like when Matt took over, they kind of like pivoted and said we need to do rebellion because land wasn't gonna save anything. I don't know. Like everybody thought land was gonna get like 89%, 80 to 90% utility and shoot SPS to 75 cents. But there's nothing there yet. So maybe 3.0 or whenever Items and Spells comes out, because that'll actually have some tangible real world utility And see, once again, what is that utility? I say this again, the core of Splinterlands is the auto battler, because the utility of minting items and spells is that players will want them to use them to play. So Bitcoin Sig land brings in new players through items and spells, which makes choices in the main game. No, dude, I fully disagree with this. Land doesn't bring in new players through items and spells. If anything, items and spells complicates the game even further for new players. Now, I'm not saying that land 2.0 or 3.0, whatever it is, once it comes out, if it pushes the game economy to the next level, that can bring new players. And if that's what you're saying, then I'll agree with you, because I think that's where like Aggie was pushing for all of last year, hoping that, you know, a Bitcoin bull run was going to start and, you know, the delivery of land would launch the Splinterlands economy into the stratosphere, both of which did not happen. All right. I guess you could say the Bitcoin bull run started in October. Let's see. Do the main game. All right. Alex, Super Bowl, who's winning? I don't know. I'm cheering for the 49ers, mainly because I just I see it as a revenge game for them back from like 2020. We had the same exact teams, so it'd be cool to see them win one. I don't really have a dog in the fight though. And if it makes, I mean, Patrick Mahomes was the quarterback of one of my fantasy teams, and I had Travis Kelce on my other fantasy team. So it's not like I don't like the Chiefs. It's just I just want to see a good game. And if the San Francisco 49ers win, I think I'll be okay with that more than the other way around. Although you cannot deny that Kansas City is another dynasty in the making, which is crazy to think about because we all witnessed Tom Brady in our lifetimes and the Patriots. All right, so New Age, at least I can think about options and strategize instead of spamming Smith and Lily. All right, fine. So at the highest levels of the game, this is crazy. At the lowest levels of the game and at the highest levels of the game, it is now boring because it's just one meta. Virus says the counter argument would be that land is the thing that saved the game in 2023. If the big holders of wildcards had sold off, then a lot of value would have been extracted. All right. Okay. One, why would they have sold off? And two, because of things, we have to live in a world. We have to consider this in a parallel world where land either doesn't exist, it was never sold, or the concept of it was never scaled up. It was just going to be something incredibly simple, like the wagons. I mean, look at the wagon thing. Okay, look at how quickly the wagons got up and running. And shout out to Cryptomancer, right? I mean, this wagon thing was what, just a couple of months by one guy. If that had been what land was, where it's just like, okay, we're going to start minting new items and spells, and now you have these wagons where you can go stake cards and you earn XYZ resource, right, for these that you can go and use to mint items and spells. Right? It didn't need to be this sprawling, like, here's Pretoria with 150 regions and blah blah blah. And I'm not trying to take anything away from the team going the route that they did. I'm just trying to say, had it been in a parallel world, we would have been in a situation where there never would have been the risk of big holders selling off their wild cards, right? Because that would have already been put on whatever we'll call them wagon lands. Now, if you're coming at this from the sense that there is a humongous and very significant loss of utility once cards go into wild, that's a problem that we will still need to solve. But I don't know. I don't know that I would make the argument that it saved the game in 2023. No, come on, Virus. I think you and I know what really saved the game in 2023 was Rebellion. And if anyone agrees or disagrees, I'm curious to know. But as a player, I was way more excited about Rebellion. Now, again, I know Virus, you and several others were super excited about land. But in my humble opinion, it was Rebellion that pushed the momentum back in our favor to go along with a very nice kind of crypto bull pump too. And just to be clear, I'm not hating on land. I'm just saying that it's become this gigantic baby, as Aggie put it, that just needs to constantly get delivered and delivered and delivered, right? And it becomes this monkey on the back of the team that, you know, you have a certain subset of players that are waiting for it. And then even the subset of players who aren't waiting for it, like myself last year, it was like, okay, just do the damn thing so we can like move on and get something else done. So if anything, I would say, you know, Matt's probably doing it in a much more vague fashion, which is good, right? He's not showing his cards, his hand, right? He's not showing his hand with this. And it's just like, yeah, we're not doing dates, and we're just gonna do stuff when it's there. And I would say, for the most part, over the next 6 weeks, 3 release cycles, if the team can deliver even just like small new player experience things, it's going to keep the one land 1.6 at bay, right? Long enough for them to get to the summer. Infidel 1258 was playing new game with Jim, but you can't sell the cards in that game. Whoa, it's crazy to me that Infidel was playing another game. Are you serious? Time and attention? He's putting his time and attention into something else? That's not cool, Dwayne. No, I'm just kidding, Dwayne. You can do whatever you want. But never did I think I'd see the day. All right. Bitcoin say, by the way, you asked what games on Solana a few streams ago. You should check out Star Atlas. It's the biggest game on there right now. They finally got mining and crafting up and running. So you earn. Oh, cool. Okay. I'm glad to see Star Atlas did not collapse, because I know it was in a lot of trouble after the FTX thing. Land's only at 5% installed or less right now. It is going to get a lot better. No, we're close to 20% utilization. Once we get to 1.5 billion, but we're kind of stuck in this 1.45, 1.46 range. Wibble, my land workers have revolted and are returning to rank play. Me just keeping a few research plots going. Interesting. I miss my Rooney, so I'm gonna have to bring him back, I think. If they play the cards right, Moon Carts and Colony might be the 100x token play. 100x token to play with. You know, I was reading through the Moon Carts white paper earlier, and I'll try to do a video on that at some point. It's great, man. I really think it has tremendous potential. It's a simple arcade style game that's kind of taken the whole like card collectible and fuse it in, right? So even if you don't play racing games, if you like card games, you might just go and collect some of these cards because you know that you can play with them. And then you get to a point where it's just like, oh, you know, I'm going to put together this preset of a racer and then rent it out or delegate it or something like that, you know, to a scholar. So I don't know. It has me excited. Now, once again, GLS once upon a time had me excited too. So it is going to come down to execution, but we are further along in the process for this game. And I will say this, if you guys did not attend the town hall for GLS and Invenium, if you were on the YouTube stream, there were a lot of new names there who were just being super hyped about the game. And I don't know if anybody else caught that. But if you go in there, you'll see that there were several, like, you know, there were quite a few like newer folks, people I had never seen the names of before, that were just getting super pumped. Now, best case scenario, or our worst case scenario, they're paid actors, right? Come in and just make a couple comments here and there. Best case scenario is that Salve, which is I think the dev team, already has an audience, right? Or, you know, their games, or maybe, you know, Moon Carts as a Web 2 thing already has an audience that could actually bring in people, which is what Aggie wants to do. So I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but I found it very interesting. All right, Skyer, what's up? Likes people. Don't forget. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Red X, appreciate you as well. Landon Manser. Wagons probably used the stake code from Land, though. Probably was sped up because they already had a system to stake 5 cards into a contract. Maybe. You could be right. Ventura. I am focusing building my CL deck before buying any lands. Nice. This is a good time for that. New Age says land is the long game, and if it fails, the game fails given the asset commitment it takes. Yeah. No, I don't think the game would fail. And I'll tell you why. I think even if land, I mean, if we're talking about like failing, then I don't know. But like, even if land doesn't do fantastic, there'll still be people that want to play the auto battler because that's the heart and soul of the game. And if they can make that experience better, even newer casual players will come in and enjoy. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. I'll be right. All right, I still have a little bit of time left, so let's keep going. All right, the combo saved the game. I think you're talking about land and ranked or rebellion. All right, so virus. I agree that rebellion was what kept interest, but land was what kept the economy stable. I'm gonna press you on this, virus. What about it kept the economy stable? Is it the card usage? I'm trying to think of like what. Because keep in mind, land has probably used, if we're being generous, there's 1.5 billion on land. I don't know how much was burned for grain and all the other things, but we've had how many? We've had 750,000 packs sold, right? Times 2,000. Okay. So Rebellion in and of itself has locked away 1.5 billion into the DAO, but you can actually double that to 3 billion as the actual demand generated for DEC. Also, Rebellion had more impact on vouchers, I think, than land did. But I'm okay. I'm not saying that land didn't play a part, guys. I'm not, this isn't binary. Of course, land did. 100% land saved the game. We went from a token economy that was completely broken to a DEC at 90%. Bro, see, okay, this is the problem. I think people always look back at this and say, "Oh, it was the launch of land that saved that got DEC to peg." I don't think that was the case, man. It was definitely Rebellion. I mean, it was probably a mix of both, but I'm just trying to show you in, hard numbers here. 1.46 billion that's been staked on land. 3 billion that has been needed in order to purchase Rebellion packs. And if you want to cut down to like what has actually been locked up, it's 1.5 billion for Rebellion going into the DAO, right? The team has gotten the rest of that and recycled it through the economy. Oh, look at this. They're under 200. All right, so Dragan, howdy everyone. Hope all is well with you. Skyer says, I think moon carts are going to introduce many new gamers to GLS. I hope so. I can see kids playing moon carts on their phones. I mean, I want to show it to like everybody in my family. Like once it's out, especially because like I like the cousins I grew up with, we played Mario Karts all the time. So I cannot wait for there to be a version of this where I can like send them, delegate them cars and be like, all right, everybody just play. And then, whoever wins, you buy everybody dinner or something like that. And again, I know it's not going to be that much money, but my point is the social aspect of it is going to be significantly higher and significantly more impactful. Land fails equals DEC back in supply, which starts the bear cycle all over again. Okay, fine. I mean, I won't disagree with that. I think here's my other hot take. I don't like the idea of DEC staking. I don't think it makes any sense to me. And I don't know. Somebody, I guess it offers flexibility if you want to dump back into the economy, but I don't know why you would give that out for many folks. Because you could bake in the value on land, right? Let's say each land, in order to support 5 units, it costs 50,000. If you just burn the 50,000, you would then have the option to sell that land with the 50,000 burned in, which means that the floor price for that land would be whatever the floor price is plus another $50, and people could then factor that in, similar to how you can buy land that has building in a box. So I never understood this idea of like staking DEC, because if the whole point of the flywheel is to get rid of DEC as much as possible so that we can get rid of SPS as much as possible, why leave a backdoor trap that allows even just one whale to come in and start dumping millions of DEC back into the marketplace? Never liked that design personally. Aggie on X posting loads of videos about moon carts. Yeah, it's good to see him excited. Even though he said he's not a racing guy, it's good to see him excited about it. Do we know how much DEC is staked into land plots these days? Yeah, we were just looking at it right here. 1.46 billion. Okay, you're reading my mind. Okay. There we go. See, Dragon on the same page. Great minds. All right, the second that Rebellion was confirmed as a thing, the pump started. And this is back in October, when we still hadn't heard about land yet. If land didn't come out, Rebellion packs would be $1.80, and the card asset values would have gone down the toilet. Man, you got some really hardcore land supporters here. All right, fair enough. I mean, unfortunately, we don't live in that world. But also, if land didn't come out, that wouldn't have been the start of the problem. I'm trying to. The argument that I'm trying to make is not like they should have abandoned land. Okay, that was never the argument I was trying to make. I'm saying that I think New Age put it correctly, or put it much more eloquently than I did. There is a certain amount of resource or asset commitment that has gone towards land that, had it gone to the rest of the game could have been much further along. But because the team has, continually increased the scope of what land at least was supposed to be initially, we haven't gotten innovations in any other part of the game. All right. I mean, we have. I'm not trying to pick fights with this. I'm literally just saying, like, the game could have been further along. All I'm doing is taking the argument that, like, the resources spent on GLG and Soul Keep and whatever, those all, like, similarly, it could have been the same with land. But because land is like this beloved thing of, what the future of Splinterlands is, it's just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and eaten more and more and more. Hypothetically, if land wasn't out, DEC wouldn't be close to or staying at peg, and non-rebellion cards would likely be half or less their price. DEC was like 50 cents, so all packs in the store were halved. Again, I'm not saying that they shouldn't have come out with land. I'm literally just saying that. This discussion turned into two different points. I was talking about land just taking up a ton of resources early on, and then I think the second half of this discussion ended up becoming what saved the game in late 2023. Was it land or was it Rebellion? And I think I'm getting outnumbered here, at least by folks who feel like commenting that land is what saved the game. But I look at it this way. If you want to say that land is what saved the game, it's only because land put itself in a position where it needed to be the game saver. It had to come out in the way that it was promised. So I, okay, that's fine. We can move on for this because I feel like this is making me sound like super bearish or super negative when I'm not. I think the like land is fine. This whole discussion started because I was saying I understand the team putting land 1.6 on the back burner in favor of new player or player experience. Because, and I don't think anybody can argue with this about me or disagree with this, land is not going to be the thing that drives a ton of new players into the game versus a better overall player experience. And maybe driving new players isn't the right way to put it, because that doesn't necessarily include, like, that's just marketing, right? But player retention as well needs to be considered. Oh, dude, my cat is harassing me. What do you want? You have food. I'm not disregarding life leech to win in overtime. What are we talking about here, Red X? All right, so New Age says burning DEC into land insinuates a higher sunk cost, which will require more ROI. Will not be logical to do. Yeah. But do you understand where I'm coming from still? That like everything else in the game burns DEC except for land. Staking DEC was only introduced with land. Because if that concept existed beforehand, like why wouldn't guild points just be that? Why wouldn't you just stake DEC to your guild and then be able to pull it out later? Fat Jimmy in the house. Matt saved the game. All right. It wasn't land. It wasn't Rebellion. It was Matt. Land also caused Chaos Legion and Untamed to combine down, which took care of a lot of excess assets. Again, I don't disagree, but that didn't do anything to save or keep the value of Chaos Legion up. In fact, I mean, Chaos Legion is even lower than it was before. Like legendary cards, $3. Again, I'm not disagreeing with land, guys. All I'm saying is that I understand the team putting land once again on the back burner in favor of other things that'll be more beneficial to the ecosystem. I'm not even saying that they are doing that. I'm saying that if they did, I would understand it. All right, you said yourself that the economy is the biggest driver of new players coming in. Yep. While it would be nice if gameplay started to. Yeah. Okay. So I think what you're getting at here is you're saying that land. You're calling me out saying that I've said that land or a big green candle is going to be what drives players in. While it'd be nice if gameplay was the thing that did, but then that goes back to like what had more of an impact on asset values, on SPS and burning SPS. I mean, shoot, come on. Here's my trump card. Look, dude, Cat, can you just chill? It's like turning off the light and everything. Here's my trump card on this. How much new money did Rebellion bring in through credits that the team ended up burning SPS for? Essentially starting the flywheel. That was all for Rebellion because you can't use credits on land. Florian says, I agree that land is not to bring players in, but it is an important cornerstone of the ecosystem and already pulling tons of cards and DEC into it. Soon we will get the green LP and more DEC utility. Yep. I don't disagree. What's up, Carlo? Bitcoin's sake, that said, they needed to do what Illuvium did with their land and make it integral as a side game to power the main game. Well, that's where we're headed. They needed to make land power the 50 games per day or something. That would have been interesting. I mean, we're headed in a way where land is going to be powering a brand new phase of the game overall, right? The items and spell phase. So we'll eventually get there. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have read the Moon Carts white paper yet, but there's an interesting concept there that I don't think they have it fully fleshed out. But in order to get energy in that game, which is similar to what you're saying here, in order to get energy in that game, or significant energy, which is called fuel, you have to stake cards. And I don't know if like that's like staking extra cards that you don't use, but you have to stake certain cards. So, sorry, I total left turn here, but just I was reminded of it because of the idea of like utilizing some other game mode essentially to power like the energy per day. Dragon, did you just say a cat turn off your lights? I mean, I said my cat turn on my lights. Where is he? Yeah. No, he can't reach the thing. He's just stepping on the wire. It's a floor lamp, so it's not a ceiling lamp. Although that would have been really funny. He's trying to get my attention, so he learns to turn on and turn off the lights. Funny stuff. Oh shoot, we've been on for an hour. Fantastic. All right, let me see how I'm doing on time. This turned into a good land debate. All right. We're still all right. Stay on for a little bit longer. You need to see how Illuvium set up their game loop. I think eventually part isn't the way to do it. What do you mean by part, Bitcoin Sig? I mean, I'll go check it out. I definitely want to see how other game economies operate. Like what I really like about parallels, what I really like about the parallel ecosystem is the circular loop or circular economy, I should call it, of the Prime token. And I guess it's not even just parallel. That's going to be any other game that they bring on to the Prime ecosystem. But it's like there's like a set amount of Prime, right? It's like 111 what was that? 111 million, 111,000, 111, right? So just nice easy number there. And you don't burn it, right? So there will always be that many. But every time you spend it on something in game, cosmetics, whatever, or to mint a new NFT, because that's the only way that you can do it. So it's almost like, every card of the game is soulbound. So in order to make it non-soulbound, you need to like sink Prime into it. So when you do that, you're essentially you don't burn the Prime, you sink it and send it into whatever like the reserve is. And then from that reserve is where all of the ecosystem rewards are paid out, similar to like the DAO, right? In fact, I think I even have it here. So yeah. So right now there's like 33 million that are in supply or circulating. And then you got 3.5%, 1.23 million that is currently sunk, right? But there's like all these different things. Well, and they're working on a bunch of new things, but ways to use Prime, right? So you can mint certain cards. They have all different kinds of. Oh, it'd be cool when they have lending and bonds available. But the whole point of this is that they're. I don't know if I have it on this page. Is it here? Governance, no. Prime sinks. All right, I don't know where it is, but there's like a certain percentage that goes back to the game economy as rewards. There's a certain percentage that goes to the team, right? Certain percentage that goes to the studio. I don't know. I'll have to find it on here on their white paper. But it's fascinating to see how something like that will work. Now, what's interesting is like you compare that, 1-to-1 with something like SPS, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I get excited about the fact that SPS, for example, is going to be, hard capped at 3 billion. And once we start getting into a much smaller supply, we should theoretically never mint any new ones. Whereas like parallel, there will always be prime there, right? But as demand for the token grows, more of it gets sunk into the reserve. More of that gets then paid out to the team. Team can use that. I don't know where it is, but I'm curious. I'm excited to see what Illuvium offers in terms of its economy loop. Cats are indeed awesome. Green Council will attract players for sure, but I believe it was Keys who wisely said we really just need players who love the game and love playing it. Keys was a wise man. Bitcoin say that they will eventually get parts working. They're being released together in Illuvium. The land must be working to fuel the overworld. The overworld must be ready to power the arena. Gotcha. Sounds like exciting stuff is happening over on the Illuvium side of things. So I will go check it out. I know I keep saying that, but hopefully this week will be a little bit more available for me. All right, let's see. Do I got another energy? Can hop into one more game. Let's see if we can spam a gladiator. If we can't, then I'm sorry. I'm making promises that I'm just going to spam gladiators. Oh, shoot. No, I don't think we can. It's only 12 mana. And we probably got to go with my favorite, Dr. Blight. Oh, okay. So let's do you. Let's do you. We're going to try and max out promo. Actually, let's just throw that up front. Why not? Let's see what happens here. Do, 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 do. Oh, Audrey K, what's going on? So this is someone I met at Splinterfest. Who I apologize, I forgot. They're from Europe. I forgot what country though. But it's awesome that we get to play each other now. So you got the Gambler title too. Oh, perfect. Doesn't have Reflection Shield either. Oh, never mind. Oh. Whoop. Amazing. All right, let's see how much we win here. Should be a decent haul. I don't know what my thing was, what my focus is. But we got 5.4 in gold too. 0% win, 0% focus, 10% gold, and 20% promo. So not terrible. Oh, this is a question that I want to ask you guys though. So what do you think should be the range for this upcoming upcoming ranked system? So for example, what am I talking about? Like I'm at 2339 and he's only at 2000. So I only got plus 10 from this, but I'm not even focused on that. I'm just focused on the fact that like our ratings are 300 apart. He's technically still in gold 3, but we got matched up. What should the cap be to either side, right? How high or low should you be playing against someone in rating? And maybe that all changes dramatically once the new rating system goes live, because there probably shouldn't be as much like ratings inflation if it's just a straight, plus 10, minus 10 or whatever it is. But I don't know what you guys are facing against or what you guys come up against. In fact, I can go and see my history here. So look, I was over 400 away from them. Although that was after the fact that I lost. But even still, I lost. Look at this. I lost 3 points in that loss. -3 rating. because they were all the way up. Hmm. 24, that's a little bit closer. 24 is a little bit closer. 22. 21. All right, so the recent ones are the only like egregious ones. Everything else is kind of within the 200 range. And while it's totally arbitrary, for some reason 200 stands out to me, right? So it's a range of 400 plus 200 and minus 200. Oh, here's another one that's kind of in that same vein. And I lost. So how much did I lose here? Minus 34 rating. Pretty crazy. Splinterfest was awesome. Indeed, it was. Good evening, Powis. Have we talked moon carts? We have. I have not gone through the white paper yet publicly, live, but I did read through it this morning. So the rating matching won't be ELO system according to Matt. I bet they will implement MTGB rating system that faces the same problem of people not playing or holding. I don't know what the MTG rating system is, so I'll have to educate myself on that. Anybody here buying GLX? Or did you get caught in the pump? We're up at like 85 for a bit. Now we're down at 69. Very, very interesting. All right. I don't know. What else you guys want to chat about? I guess that's all we got. Started selling my GLX almost halfway. You think, well, I guess I feel like there might still be a little bit of a pump in there. Although I did sell some already. So I guess I'm with you. Virus says, would there be more ratings inflation since lower league players wouldn't be stopped from moving up? The range probably depends on the time you are in queue. That's true. That's a good way to design it. I mean, I don't know how to design it so that there isn't ratings inflation. Because the goal is to always like move up, and if you create it so that it ends up being like a zero-sum game, that's like, I don't know. All right, the Hive game is still mainly crypto degens. Oh, sorry, the game, this is from Hive Drip. The game is still mainly crypto degens. Fix MP, and let's get more people into the game that actually love to play is the key. Yeah, I'm not as confident about bringing in Web 2. I think the game will always be crypto degens, but it's a solid game, and there's a lot of crypto degens out there. So they just need to know about it and be willing to come check out something on Hive. Alex is buying vouchers, started selling my GLX. How much are nodes? I think it's like 500-600. You talking new chess reward scheme? Yeah, I don't know. We've been all over the place today talking about Land, Rebellion, new ranked updates, Land 1.6. We did a little moon carts. I'll say this. I am very excited for the potential of moon carts. I think that it has exactly what you would want from it in terms of it being arcade style, quick battle games, social, right? So you can have up to 6 people rather than it just being 1v1. Graphics are fun. It's built in Unity, so it's not just some auto battler or you're just clicking buttons left and right. I mean, you are clicking buttons, but there's a certain level of skill that can be innate and doesn't have to be learned, right? And that maybe goes back towards the arcade style game. Anybody can just pick it up and start playing. And the way that they have it designed is like, if you really want to get into the weeds of it, let's say you're into like building out your cart, or you're into like optimizing your loadout, whatever you want to call it. There'll be opportunities to do that, right? Each of the drivers has different pluses and minuses in terms of strength. You can equip your car. There's different types of carts. I think 4 different types of carts. You can equip those carts with different kinds of engines and internal things, as well as external features. And then the other fun thing is that there's a bunch of different loadouts that you can use, right? You can fire missiles at people. You can use a boost, all right? Or for the Mario Kart folks, red shell or a mushroom. So there's something to it that's it's just viscerally fun for anybody. Like, I think I could show it to, my little nieces and nephews, and they would get a kick out of it, right? So the potential is a very long tail, very far reaching audience that can play the game. Now, they're still selling stuff super expensive, in my opinion, like $5 a pack. You get a couple cards. But as long as the game is fun at the lowest levels, and I think it potentially has the chance to be, right? Because here's the thing. Where does the skill level come in? Let's say I'm playing in a car versus like a level 1 car versus somebody who has a maxed out car. Their top speed, for example, could be optimized so that it goes all the way up to 90, right? My top speed, maybe as a basic car, is at about 70%, whatever you want to call it. Now, the interesting thing is, okay, the skill level comes from actually driving the car. So it's not the car, it's the driver, although the car definitely plays a role in it. So the huge difference is, if I were to play a bronze deck in Splinterlands versus a max level deck, unless my skill level was unless the other person's skill level was so poor that they just randomly put cards in whatever order, I would have a shot at winning. But the difference for Moon Carts is that I could just be good at racing games and driving, or the other person could have a situation where like they flip the joystick too hard one way or another, or they overreact to one of the turns and then they get stuck, or they bump something, or I use my loadouts better, right? Again, you could make the same arguments with Splinterlands, maybe even GLS, but I don't play GLG, so. But you can make the same arguments in Splinterlands, but it's just so much more difficult to not get beaten down by the raw power. And so Moon Carts, I'm hoping that there'll be obviously a competitive echelon to it, but everything below that still give you plenty of opportunity to play and enjoy. Do I have a note? Yes. Bitcoin say, I think the general problem is they need to get some games outside of Hive ecosystem to get eyes on their projects. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I mean, I've said my issues. I've said my piece about Hive before, so that's why I'm giving a short answer there, because I think people know my opinion already. I mean, Hive is cool, but I think Hive is also one of the biggest limiting factors for any game built on Hive. Have you done a video on how you get in? Are you talking about, what are we talking about? To Moon Carts? No, I'll do. There's a separate. So I did a Arcade Colony white paper deep dive. There's a separate white paper for Moon Carts, so I'll do a video on that. Hopefully sometime this week. And I mean, it's just going to be the fork in the airdrop. You'll get free tokens, and if you don't care about getting free stuff, you can always just go and buy packs later, whenever it does go live. Virus, do we know how close they are to the Web3 integration on Moon Carts, or is it still the same state Soulkeep is? I mean, no idea. But part of that is because I have no idea what state Soulkeep is in. From the sound of it, because Soulkeep is just a big question mark, I would say that Moon Carts is significantly closer. Because the stuff that they were talking about is the fact that like you can go replay your races. You can go there's like a method in which you could like print out the winners in order to go and verify them on the blockchain in the order that they won. So I would say that their integration is significantly further ahead than Soulkeep. But that's only because we have no idea what's going on with Soulkeep. With Moon Carts, there's a date. They're trying to get this out in the next two months or so. And again, we all know what dates mean, but at least there's a date, all right? Something to shoot for here. We just don't have that with Soulkeep. I think Moon Cards is probably still pay to win. I think that's still the business model, to selling assets and distributing rewards. There's no doubt. I mean, higher rewards will always be given out to people who spend more, right? That's always going to be how it is. But if I can play, for example, if I can play in gold, I'm talking about Splinterlands. If I can play in gold, I can have fun, both of which I'm doing now, and I can earn rewards that are nice to win, 4 to 6 SPS per game, which I am. I'm just kind of happy with that, right? I don't need it to be something more. And I'm hoping that the same argument can be made for people who play in bronze and silver at some point, especially after the ranked overhaul. As I like, hey, you know what? I want to spend no more than $500 on this game. I'm just going to get, a max like silver deck, and I'm going to be earning, let's see, max silver deck, and I'm going to be earning, 1.5 to 2.5 SPS per game. And you know what? I'm happy with that. It's cool. Let's go, right? And the same with bronze. Bronze, I just want to spend like, I don't know, 20, 30 bucks on the game. I'm just going to get certain cards that I need. I'm going to enjoy what it is at the lowest levels. And if I walk away with half an SPS, maybe 1 SPS sometimes, if the bonuses are good, then I'm happy with that. And that's that. I don't think it needs to be much more, right? And this is what I'm talking about, where the thing about Splinterlands is that it's so top heavy when it comes to the player base. So you have way more people trying to compete in Diamond and Champion than in Gold. And in most games, that's really just not how it is. The long tail is significantly longer across the lower leagues. All right, Kat. I don't know what it is you want. All right. But guys, I got to jump off anyway. So this is fun. I actually almost got like an hour and a half in, which is fantastic. I will see. I don't know. My schedule is going to be all up in the air this week too. But don't worry, there will be some times when I will try to do live streams. I'm glad I was able to still get one here on our usual Sunday morning. But I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, rest of your weekend. If it's still a weekend for you, if it's Monday already, then I hope you have a fantastic week. I'll be live here, hopefully within the next day or two. I'll find some time. And of course, we'll try to get some more content out that will be either fun, entertaining, or provocative. We'll see. But take care, guys. Have a good one. Peace.